Well, welcome back to the Roundtable. This is the episode you've all been waiting for, and by all, I mean however many 30, 40, 50, 20 people voted on our next bracket. Templar, we are into round 3 of our greatest movie franchises bracket. We're going to reveal the results here on this episode, and then we're going to be live voting. At least I'm going to be live voting because Templar has already seen these. I'm going to be live voting. Templar is going to have to mull some of these over. I do have to tell you, this was a little bit tougher in retrospect. I went back and looked at the, I didn't vote again, but after our stream last week, I went back and looked at some of the choices, and this was a lot tougher, I think, than I was giving it credit for. I made a couple of snap decisions, but I think there were a couple of matchups in here that might have been interesting, and I don't know. I haven't looked at the results yet, but before I flip over into the actual results, any kind of off-the-cuff remarks, anything that really kind of hit you weird as you were going through and kind of building out this presentation?
I would say the results are mixed. I don't know. Some of them I found a little bit surprising. I think some of the trends I found kind of interesting that we can talk about as we get into it. And then, I mean, as you would expect, the next round has some spicy matchups because, I mean, we're getting down to the real meat of things here. So, like, there's some hard decisions, you know, pitting your children against each other to some extent, right? Of who's your favorite, you know, when you really like both. So it's good. It's some interesting ones, and we'll go through it, and I can elaborate a little bit more. But it's a fun one. It's some fun matchups and some fun results, I think.
Interesting. Well, here we go. Without further ado, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the results. And John Wick absolutely getting demolished by Star Wars. I think we all saw this one coming. 3 votes for good John Wick. Were you one of those votes? You were one of those votes, weren't you?
Oh, I for sure was, yeah. 100% I was.
That's okay. It's
all right.
We all knew this was going to happen, though. Sorry, John.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Sorry, John. You did make an impassioned plea, and I cut one of those impassioned pleas for our social medias last week, and we got a decent amount of traction on that. But Star Wars moves on. Next, Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, I guess we kind of saw this one coming too. Batman beating out Guardians of the Galaxy, and not only beating it, but like fairly.
Yeah, I don't know if I expected it to be this one-sided. Like, I mean, I don't know. Given our community skews kind of younger, like I wonder. I mean, obviously, Batman is. I voted Batman, and you know it's certainly iconic. But, you know, I mean, the only real recent, like, decent Batman movie is the 2022 one was good. And then going past that, it's like Dark Knight. Like, you know, it's been a minute since I think we've had some really, like, a really good Batman movie. But I guess just the you know, franchise and the sort of weight of the character, the significance of the character carried it. Because I thought the love for Guardians might be there a little bit more. I'm not mad about the result, but I was expecting this one, I thought, to be a little bit closer with our community.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that Guardians, outside of the first one, is a little polarizing. Talking to people, there are a number of people like you and I that only like one of the other. Like the first one's great, and then either like the first one or like the second one or like the third one. So I don't, you know, I'm not super over the top. Plus Batman is just kind of ubiquitous. You know, he's around.
Yeah.
You know? All right. Yep. That was our second matchup. Our third matchup, the Mummy getting whomped by Back to the Future as well. I think we saw this one coming. I voted Back to the Future. I'm assuming you voted Mummy.
I think, I'm pretty sure I did. I think I was on the wrong side of a decent chunk of these matchups in this round. But yeah, I did vote for the Mummy. Again, my attachment to Back to the Future just isn't huge, but unsurprising. And I'm not upset about the result. Back to the Future is a great series, a great trilogy, and they're a lot of fun. And I can't be mad at it.
I guess I've never asked you, what's your favorite Back to the Future?
It's funny, like growing up, I was big on Westerns, so I was always kind of partial to the third one, even though I know the third one is like the worst one. Like, I
Yeah.
know people don't really like the third one, but like growing up, at least when I was younger, I always really liked the third one because I just liked westerns.
Huh.
So it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to me. And the scene with the train, like
Yeah.
trying to get the train, and they were throwing the stuff in there to try to get it fast enough and stuff. Like, I have kind of fond memories of that one, despite knowing that. So probably the third one, honestly. Like now, Sarah and I rewatched the first one a while ago, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Hmm.
It'd probably be the first one because my memory is don't love the second one. I remember not loving the second one when I was younger, at least anyway. So yeah,
Yeah.
unpopular opinion, but probably the third one.
Huh. That is fascinating. Yeah. For me, it's the second one just because of the hoverboard. Because
Sure.
you
Yeah,
can't
of
beat out
course.
a hoverboard and Nike Jordans that automatically zip up against your feet. The Matrix versus Captain America. This is closer than I thought. Huh. That's way closer than I thought. We might be coming to the point where that one Matrix movie is going to start getting knocked down a
Yeah, I
peg.
was gonna say like that man. That they got back problems. That movie's got back problems carrying this franchise this far into this freaking bracket. Like,
It's got
oh man,
got
like
coffee up my nose.
and again, The Matrix is like maybe we'll do a tier list of sci-fi movies or action
Ooh.
movies or something, and it'll be high on that. So I mean, it's deserved. It's a phenomenal film. It's extraordinarily influential. Like we've praised The Matrix, but
Hmm.
at some point it needs to be like acknowledged that there's four of those movies, five. So like 2 out of 5, if we want to count the Animatrix, are like good. Like one is excellent and the Animatrix is good, and the other three are kind of like not great. So
Yeah.
I don't
Trash.
know. At some point it has to be acknowledged that I feel like the one movie just can't keep doing it. They can't keep getting away with it.
Did you ever play the
But
Matrix
we'll
video
see.
game?
Yeah, I did. I played. There was multiple. I think definitely played a couple of them when I
The
was
one,
younger. I think.
yeah, the one that was based off the Animatrix. I think it was on Xbox 360. Maybe it was just regular Xbox. But I vividly
Yeah,
remember
I
that
for sure
game and
did.
being like in awe of that game and just going like, this is
Hmm.
because it tied into the Animatrix, because it had like a lore and a mythos to it. And I don't know, man, bring that back. Hey, developers, listen to me. Bring that back, because that game was rad. And then they killed Matrix Online, which sucked. Moving right along, Harry Potter versus the Terminator, or versus the Terminator franchise. No surprise here. This has been pretty one-sided. Outside of that last one, these have been pretty one-sided. Maybe I was overestimating the actual spiciness of some of these.
I guess it also depends on community, and like so. I think for
Mm.
our community, some of these like are pretty one-sided, where they might not be, generally speaking. Yeah, some of these I definitely stressed a little bit about making a decision, but then obviously it seems like most people didn't, or if they did,
Yeah.
they all came down on one side of it.
Yeah.
The Terminator, I think, did pretty well for a franchise whose best movie was in like 1991. So like, I mean, given how long it's been since they had like a great film in that franchise, I think it did pretty well.
Yeah.
Harry Potter still just culturally is so significant, even
Uh-huh.
if it's not as what it once was. It's still just it's so big.
Especially in
It's
our
not a
community.
surprise. Yeah, for sure.
A couple more matchups here. Avengers and Pirates of the Caribbean. Wow, look at that. All right, Pirates. There we go. I thought this one was going to
Yeah,
be definitely a close one.
yeah. I've underestimated the love for pirates. I mean, I like the franchise, but I thought the Avengers would take this. And I didn't think it'd be one-sided, but I definitely thought the Avengers would win comfortably,
Yeah.
and definitely not. So I'm obviously underestimated the love for Captain Jack and that whole universe. So hey, I'm not mad about it. But
There was a video that got recommended to me on YouTube literally today, from the channel Nerd Logic. If you've ever watched him, he's like a video essayist, and he was talking about the fact that the Pirates trilogy was better. It's like getting this weird re-estimation I didn't think was going to happen. He said he was making the point that it's better than we actually thought it was. And I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I'd be fascinated to hear the argument. I think any of the
Sure.
Pirates movies are not as good as the best Avengers movie, but I think on totality, Pirates is better than Avengers.
Maybe the best Avengers movie for me is Infinity War.
Yep.
So do I think? I mean, Black Pearl is the best one. So do I think Black Pearl is better than Infinity War?
I do.
You do think Black Pearl is better?
No,
Or
sorry.
you think
I think
Infinity War is
Infinity
better?
War is better.
You think Infinity War is better?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's genuinely a tough one for me because I really like Infinity War, but Black Pearl is a really great movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to think about that one more. That's a tough. That's a tough one. There's a conversation to be had there about that reevaluation though, because we've talked about it. I think in passing before, in regards to the prequels,
Mm-hmm.
this reevaluation of stuff that at the time was viewed as being kind of not great.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of that might come from the lack of faith in modern franchise and like modern movie making that people are like, man, we didn't realize how good we had it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's sort of going back and being like, man, we complained about these movies then, but like we would take them now over what we have currently. Like, so I think some of it might be that, but there's definitely an interesting conversation to be had there.
Well, we can have that conversation at a later date because we have to move on. We've got 2 more of these. James Bond versus Indiana Jones. Goodbye, James Bond. We knew ye a lot. I'm not surprised Indy made it through. I know you probably voted for James Bond. Dude, you're like 5 for 7 right now.
Yeah, I was on the
Struggle
losing
bus.
side of a lot of these ones this week. That's okay. I mean, this one, I know there's a lot of love for Indiana Jones. So again, I'm not too mad about it. I know, shout out Pastor Jersey. Him and I both know have a lot of love for the Bond franchise. And obviously this was relatively close, so other people do too, but it's okay. Indiana Jones is iconic and it's all good. Whatever. I'm not mad about Indiana Jones going through. James Bond did pretty well, and that's fine. For a franchise that I don't know how much cultural cachet it really has, I think it did pretty well for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody knows Shaken Not Stirred and Bond, James Bond. But other than that, like those are kind of the things. Indiana Jones has a lot going for it in the cultural zeitgeist, even to this day.
There was the game. There was the game that came out recently that was very good. I still need to play.
Yep. Hey, they're making a James Bond game. The Hitman guys, IO, are making the James Bond game, so that should be good. I'm a big Hitman guy. Last but certainly not least, Spider-Man versus Lord of the Rings. Goodbye, Spider-Man. That's a tough matchup for a juggernaut.
Yeah, I think I underestimated Lord of the Rings coming into this bracket. I mean, I certainly expected it to do well. I remember you mentioned it as your favorite or one of your favorites, like at the very beginning. And I certainly thought it would do well. I just like, there's so much love for Spider-Man in our community. And I mean, Spider-Verse won our superhero movie bracket, like Into the Spider-Verse. So like, I definitely thought I guess I expected Lord of the Rings to win. I didn't know if I thought it'd be this one-sided, but I guess when it comes down to it, like nerds are going to be nerds, man. And like Lord of the Rings has a special place in all our nerd hearts. So fair enough.
Nerds going to be nerds. That should be the topic of Go ahead.
Was that every MCU? Did they all lose? Did all of them comic book stuff lose?
Spider-Man.
Avengers lost.
Spider-Man.
Batman. Right, but it was against Guardians. So like Guardians lost, Spider-Man lost, and the Avengers lost, right?
Hey, maybe there's a superhero fatigue that we weren't aware of.
It certainly was with us.
Yeah, maybe as hosts, our angst was bleeding into the stream a little bit too much.
Our energy came through.
Yeah. Well, so that was our round of 16 matchups. Here we go into the Elite 8, and we are going to be live voting as to all of these. Batman versus Star Wars. That is a tough beat for Batman. Well, maybe. I still think Star Wars is going to win. I'm going to vote for Star Wars, but I think if anybody can beat the Juggernaut right now, it's probably going to be, Lord of the Rings. But out of any of them that are not Lord of the Rings, I think Batman can try.
It has a good shot. I think it has a shot at it. There's just so much nostalgia and so much love for Star Wars. I don't know. I voted for Batman, obviously, but
yeah. I'm going to vote for Star Wars.
I don't know. With our community, I think Star Wars will probably end up winning this, but we'll see. Yeah. I'm interested to see what the final breakdown is.
Agreed. This is a tough one, I think. The Matrix versus Back to the Future. I actually don't know. I'm probably going to go Back to the Future, but I want to hear you talk about this for just a second while I think about it.
I went Back to the Future partially because, like, enough is enough. Like, I love The Matrix. like I was kind of not super objective on this one. I was kind of just like, that's enough, man. Like, I love the Matrix as much as the next guy, but like, we can't allow one movie to carry this like pretty mediocre franchise as far as it goes,
Yeah.
like any further. Like Back to the Future, even, it's fine if people don't love the third one. Okay, all of those movies are at least solid. Like the first two are, like, I think generally considered to be excellent, right?
Yes.
So like, and the Matrix, like the Animatrix is good, but the Animatrix is sort of like an extra thing anyway. Of the main films that have been released in theaters, like one of them is really good, excellent, and the other, like the second and third one, I've heard some people defend them kind of like Pirates, I guess, that there's been a bit of a reevaluation of some of those. I don't think there's definitely parts of them to enjoy, but like those movies got so far off the rails of like, what on earth is even happening here, that I can't do it, man. I don't know. I love the Matrix. If someone votes for the Matrix all the way through to the finale, if it makes it, fine. I won't be mad about it. It's an influential film. It's great, iconic. But like, enough is enough, man. One movie can't drag the corpse of this franchise into like the top four.
The corpse is funny. That's a very funny way of putting it. Yeah, Back to the Future. I think I'm on.
It's a dead franchise. The Matrix is a dead franchise, man. Who wants more Matrix movies? Like they tried to do a modern one. Like that's the poster I chose for this one because it's the fourth round now.
Yeah.
But like, is anyone scrambling for more? Is anyone begging for more content? Like,
when was that fourth one? Matrix Resurrections.
21 or 22, I think it was a couple years ago.
Did you even watch it?
No, I didn't. I'm good.
Huh. Yeah. Oh, wow. Jonathan Goff was in it. Interesting. Jonathan Goff was Agent Smith. Huh. Interesting. Young Agent Smith, I'm assuming. Well, that's great. Back to the Future it is. Harry Potter versus Pirates of the Caribbean. Ooh.
Big one.
Ooh.
Big matchup. So for me, I went Harry Potter here. I just have more, like, I read the books relatively recently. I have a lot of affinity for those movies. I really like the Pirates movies. I do think the average quality of the Harry Potter movies is better. I know some people might push back on that. I feel like we were having a discussion with someone maybe on Discord in one of the hangouts there. Discord.gg/LuxDigitalChurch.
Shout out.
About the franchise, and I feel like someone was being kind of critical of them. But like, I think the Harry Potter movies are all pretty solid. Like my least favorite one is the sixth one, and I think it's okay. Like even it's, I think, okay. I think all of them bring something, and I think some of them are genuinely really good movies. Whereas Pirates, again, like the first three I kind of will defend and like. The first one is great, and then the fourth and the fifth are fine. Like they're kind of in a similar realm, but for me, I think Harry Potter I have more of an affinity for. So
I think I agree with you. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter guy. I'll be the first one to admit it. I do think, however, the story in Harry Potter, obviously it's a book, and so it's a lot more cohesive because there are books attached to it. Pirates, there's no books attached to them. The Pirates movies get a little stale. I mean, Harry Potter kind of gets a little stale, and like the fifth movie in particular. But I don't know. I'm going to go Harry Potter. I just think it's much more epic as a franchise in totality. I think it's much more epic.
It also does have a direction, to your point, right? Like,
yes, it does.
Like it has somewhere where it's going, right? And maybe you aren't super into where it's going, or maybe you're not, like, it's an up and down in terms of how it's getting there or whatever. But there's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end to that story. With Pirates, it's just like, I guess there is in the first three, you can, like, they kind of set the groundwork, and then they kind of have it connected to second and third one. But then it's kind of just like Captain Jack's back doing stuff.
Yep.
Like, and there's really not a whole lot. Like, it just kind of meanders.
Yeah.
And so if you're in for that, then great. But Harry Potter is much more cohesive, obviously, because it's based on pre-existing material, whereas Pirates is based on a theme park ride.
Fair. Harry Potter it is. And then, I mean, this is no contest.
Yeah, no. I mean, to be honest, all four of these were kind of, I don't know if I would say easy for me, but like all of these, I was pretty clear on which way I was going to go. Like, obviously I was going to go for Batman. Back to the Future versus Matrix I had to think about, but you got to draw a line somewhere.
Yep.
Harry Potter was relatively straightforward for me. And then Lord of the Rings, like, again, I like Indiana Jones, but it's never been my favorite franchise. And Lord of the Rings is, it is what it is. It's the juggernaut, the legendary. So
yeah, I mean, Lord of the Rings right now is just going to be, I don't know, what do we want to think? It's just going to be like the Chicago Bulls of the 90s. Like that's what this feels like. It's just like an
do you think that maybe, do you think there's anything that's remaining that has a decent shot to unseat it?
Star Wars.
You think Star Wars has a shot?
Yeah, just knowing our community and knowing the nerddom that inhabits our community, I think it's going to end up being Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I do think they are, as movie franchises, what they have spawned is huge. I would say, honestly, Star Wars, as outside of the movies themselves, if you talk about the franchise as the product on the whole, Star Wars has better name recognition in terms of a franchise than the Lord of the Rings does. I think if we're talking strictly as movie quality, however, the Lord of the Rings wins going away. Just easy. One Lord of the Rings movie is better than all of the other Star Wars movies put together. And this is me as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, even doing the original Star Wars trilogy against the Lord of the Rings, I don't think is very fair.
No,
I think Lord of the Rings still kind of wipes it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. I guess it will come down to, assuming that's the final matchup, which isn't guaranteed, but is probably likely.
I think it's.
Well, we'll talk about it when we get there, but yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Batman. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yes, but I don't think Batman can beat Lord of the Rings in the finale if it did ever make it. So we can talk about that matchup in more detail when we get there. But yeah, it is interesting. And yeah, because the film quality is great. And because we separated The Hobbit, if we had included The Hobbit as like an overall like Middle Earth franchise, then the conversation would be different, right? But we separated The Hobbit out. So the Lord of the Rings trilogy, we could do a trilogy tier list at some point. Might be fun. But I think Lord of the Rings would be
still wins.
Yeah, probably. Not to spoil a future tier list, but
Sorry, guys.
Probably. I don't know. There's not much that could really unseat it. Like, what's funny is Toy Story probably would have had a really great shot, and then they made a fourth one.
I don't know. Dude.
I don't know if I would take Toy Story over Lord of the Rings. I probably wouldn't. But the Toy Story trilogy is right up there.
Yeah,
like,
it's great.
It's right up there. Like, it's S tier. It might, maybe if we went back to our GOAT lists, it wouldn't be the GOAT, but it would be high S tier. Anyway,
I don't disagree.
Off topic.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, we need to save that. Yeah, we need to save that.
Yeah,
okay, so the link to vote is going to be in the doodly-doos below. You can go vote right now. If you're seeing this on Instagram or TikTok, head over in the link either in our bio or on in the link down in our socials or in our profile. You'll be able to get to it from there. Templar, before we wrap up and go record another episode, anything else you want to shout at the audience for?
Vote for Batman.
And with that, we can't be seen as putting our fingers on the scales of justice. So with that, I mean, Batman put his finger on the scales of justice, I guess, too. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time. Toodles.